In March of 2022, that is the date that this alleged incident happened. The state just spent a lot of time talking to you about a lot of things, but they didn't talk to you about March 24th, 2022. That's what you're decided on, not what happened in 2021, 2020, or any time before that. They're going to avoid March 24th, 2022. March 24th, 2022, Janae Newell, who is the alleged victim in this case, alleges that this young man here, Eligio Bishop, raped her. The judge is going to tell you what rape means, but that he penetrated her against her will and with force. That's what she said happened on March 24th, 2022. That she also was falsely imprisoned by Eligio Bishop, meaning that she was not allowed to leave. Okay? That's what the state has to prove to you. Not about anything that happened anywhere else, not about other people, but it's what happened between him and her on March 24th, 2022. And I'm going to ask as you go through this trial that you listen and focus on that day. Because right now, this is going to be a can't see the forest for the trees type of case that the state is presenting to you. Additionally, there are charges for revenge porn, for posting something on the internet in order to essentially embarrass her or harass her. So let's go back and look at March 24th, 2022. This defendant, along with some other people, were living in a house. This essentially was a polygamous relationship. This defendant had a woman that was considered to be his queen, and then there were other women that were there as well. We're not here to hide it from you. That's not what he's charged with, okay? Now, on March 24th, 2022, Janae Newell indicated, based on what she told law enforcement, that she wanted to leave the house. And so she wrote text messages on that day that will be evidence. But other things that are going to be extraordinarily relevant about March 24th, 2022 is her interview with law enforcement and the different things that she did. So on March 24th, 2022, she ended up leaving the house the next morning, which was the 25th. Okay. But on that day, between the time she talks to law enforcement, which is not until April of the next month, essentially, 2 weeks later, she gives an interview to law enforcement. She never actually tells law enforcement that Mr. Bishop raped her. What she did was she came down to the DeKalb County Courthouse and she attempted to get a misdemeanor warrant against Mr. Bishop. And in that misdemeanor warrant, she didn't say anything about being raped. She said that he had posted some videos online that she wanted him to take down. That was it. She never said anything about being falsely imprisoned, because she had to make a sworn application in front of a judge in order to get a warrant taken out. So they scheduled a hearing. In that, there was never a single word about rape. She also gave an online interview with a YouTube interviewer, another person. In that interview, she described making love, is what she described. She used the words making love. And I know these are difficult terms to hear. We're adults, so we're going to have adult conversations. Rape, obviously, is a act that there is no love in. There is two people, and an act happens, and one of them obviously doesn't want it. The other one forcibly does it. You cannot get further from that when you use the words making love. So in her interview that was recorded with YouTube, where she was interviewed by another person, she described going back into the house and that she and Mr. Bishop made love. Those were the words that she used. She additionally said that she believed Mr. Bishop was faking it, that he didn't really love her, but that he was faking being excited to have intercourse with her. Not a single word about rape, not a single word about false imprisonment. After that, she gives another interview, this time to police. And when she, in the first 5 minutes of the interview to police, she describes that they are making love. That's the words that she used. She does not use anything about rape. It's not until much further in the interview where the police ask her, well, was this consensual? And her words were, I don't know. She never says rape. She also speaks to Eva Wilson right after, on the night of the 24th, by text message and phone call. That was her substitute mother. And Eva Wilson asked her, hey, what's going on? She never says anything about being raped. She never describes being forced to do anything. Simply put, she asks her if she can come and pick her up. This case is one where the goal of the state is to be able to show you a lot of other things, but you're to decide on March 24, 2022, whether a rape took place. Now, addressing false imprisonment. The state's going to say, and they're going to put in evidence, or try to, that Mr. Bishop falsely imprisoned her. And you just heard the state, through his words, and his words and my words are not evidence, but you just heard the state say that she left the house, she had called an Uber. I can't imagine how you would be falsely imprisoned if you have the ability to call an Uber. But she alleged that she was being beaten by another person. And so because she was being beaten by this other person, she decided to leave. That's what he just said. She packed her bags. Nobody stopped her from packing her bags somehow. She was able to get her paintings out of the storage. Nobody stopped her from doing that. They don't even describe, according to what he just said, Mr. Bishop stopping her from doing anything. She gets outside to an Uber that she's somehow able to call. And yet she's been beaten so bad, according to her. When she gets out to the Uber, she decides that she wants to go back in and say goodbye to a person who allegedly has treated her so bad for so long. That's not false imprisonment. You don't want to go back inside and say hello to a person that has been a person has beaten you and mistreated you. So I ask that you pay attention to all those things. Additionally, the state just indicated in their opening statement that the videos that they are alleging that he posted subsequent to her leaving to harass her, is what they're alleging, that those videos were actually posted before she left. It wasn't the first time these same videos were posted. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a complicated case, but it becomes extraordinarily complicated when we tie in a bunch of other stuff that doesn't have to do with March 24th, 2022. This case is about March 24th, 2022. And as you hear the questions that are asked of Ms. Newell from myself, from the state, and anybody else that's involved in it, focus on March 24th, 2022, and the statements that she gave to law enforcement, the statements that she made to her friends and family, the statements that she made by text message, the statements that she made to the magistrate court here in DeKalb County. Think about all those statements where she never says the word rape. She never says that she was forced to have sex. She never gives a description of what Mr. Covington just described to you at any given time before that. And I would venture to say that the state during this trial will never, before you put that in evidence, that at the end of the trial, all those things that I just told you, they won't put in evidence anything that controverts that, because that evidence doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. She described making love. And we're all, 14 of you guys are adults. You know there's a wide discrepancy from someone making love versus someone being raped. Now, the state asked you during the four-hour process, was it an issue with things being delayed? This is not about a delay. This is a totally different statement than rape. So please, as you listen to the evidence in this case, don't get lost on online persona. Don't get lost on multiple women being with Mr. Bishop. Don't get lost on what other people say. On this particular date, March 24th, 2022, at the end of this case, your minds will be unsettled and wavering, which law requires those to be satisfied in order for Mr. Bishop to be found guilty. And we're going to ask that you return a verdict of not guilty on behalf of each count for Mr. Bishop. Thank you.